Hi everyone, this is Kathy from Greenhaven Farms. I thought I would do a quick walk through the nursery so you could get an idea of some of the plants we're going to be offering in our sale in September 18th. Getting ready for fall. So one of the things we concentrate on is making sure we had lots of milkweed. So we do have lots and lots, many pots. Most of it is the orange Asclepias tuberosa, but there are some Hello Yellow, which is a yellow version. This is, we have several Coreopsis. This one is a tall Coreopsis identified by Mount Cuba. It's called Gold Standard, and it's a really nice, sturdy yellow flower loved by pollinators. We have Turtlehead. That's our native Chelone. This one's called Pink Magic. Nice glossy foliage and different kind of flower shape, which is nice in the garden. This is a native aster that grows along the ground called Snow Flurry. Some native Calroe or wine cups. This is what the flower looks like on that Coreopsis. It's just a really pretty yellow flower. Then this is a penstemon we're offering called Red Rocks, which is really loved by bees, and it's a good sturdy grower. It's a cross of our native and another penstemon. Coreopsis Creme Caramel, which is a nice heavy bloomer. Man, this thing's just been blooming and blooming. A couple varieties of goldenrod. Garden Mum, plant it and forget it. Nice salmon flowers. You don't have to plant it every year and you don't have to pinch it. Another Chelone. This is Hot Lips. And then also our native obedient plant. This is a white version, Crystal Peak. I just want to quick show you on... These are some of the stock plants blooming, but this is what the ironweed blooms look like. And we actually have two varieties of ironweed. We have iron butterfly, which is that thin foliage version there. Flowers will be the same. This one's a little shorter and the foliage is a little more open. Next to that, we have Lobelia cardinalis, the red hummingbird plant that's a native, and then native swampweed, some Dianthus. Over here we have a whole host of coneflowers which are just starting to bloom but should be blooming by the time the sale starts, so you'll be able to see bloom colors. Moonbeam Coreopsis, another one of my favorites. There's the other ironweed setting buds. It's not blooming quite yet in the pots. I actually deadheaded it a little. This is a Caryopteris called Grand Blue. Bees love Caryopteris. Nice blue flowers. Some panicum grass. And then over on this side, we have some Heliopsis, Helianthus. The nice bright sunflower native plants. These are all natives. Our native Agastache. This is Golden Jubilee, which is a little bit yellower leafed selection of our native Agastache, but bees love this plant. Some Sedums, a native aster called Radon's Favorite, a Helenium, which is a native plant also. This one's called Mardi Gras. It has like a lot of variation in color on the individual flowers. And then over here we have another Helenium called Sombrero, which it's a little shorter and they're solid yellow flowers. And we also have some native Stokes aster and Liatris, which is another native plant. A non-native aster called Aster tataricus, but what's nice about that is it gives pollen and nectar late in the year. This is another native aster called October Skies. It's very similar to Radon's Favor, but it grows shorter. Aster Bluebird, which is an upright, tall, blue flowered aster. We're also going to have some shrubs this year. So we're going to have the native Ilex verticillata with the red berries on the bare stems. And we have both winter red and southern gentleman, the pollinator. So if you want winterberry hollies, they really are lovely. Then this is Cephalanthus, which is a native plant for us, and it gets these neat kind of disco ball white flowers that bees really like. We have Nellie Stevens holly, which the nice thing about Nellie Stevens is it's self-fertile, so you can plant one and still get berries. Arizona cypress with this beautiful blue color. We also have two varieties of, this is actually a Japanese holly. There's this upright variety called Steeds and this low-growing variety called Soft Touch. And the idea behind that is a replacement for boxwood without all the pest and disease issues, so you can hopefully avoid pesticides. This is our native Clethra. This is Ruby Spice. Very fragrant flowers with a little bit of pink in them. And then if you look across the way here, we have a Joe Pye. This is a shorter version, grows 3 to 4 feet instead of the 6 to 8 that the straight native species grows, so it fits a little better in gardens. We also have another selection of woody plants. Not a huge number of any one thing. We have some Magnolia virginiana, aronia, the red-berried aronia, spice bush, and also we have pussy willows, which are very cool because not only do you get pussy willows in the spring that you can bring in and put in your arrangements and all of that, but you also it's great caterpillar food. Caterpillars really love, and it doesn't bother them because they grow so fast. So it's a great plant for caterpillars. Okay, so over here in the shade section, Heuchera, Pallas purple, some Thalictrum, Pollinator. This is our native Christmas fern. Very hardy once it's established, just rock solid. Some native geraniums, Polonium. There's a variegated and a straight species. Let's see, and then ferns. We have lots of ferns. We actually have autumn ferns, which are in another part because we ran out of room. But this is a non-native fern, but I've always really loved the foliage on it, so we're offering it because it's just such a beautiful little fern. Glossy and tight and just really lovely. This is our native maidenhair fern. Just beautiful lacy foliage. Some native Torellia. And this is actually a native aster that blooms in the shade. It blooms white, but it can take almost full shade and still bloom. This is a plant called toad lily, and I don't know why. I guess because the flowers have spots. I don't know. Toad lily is the name they gave it. But it's a nice shade plant because it's a different sort of shape. It's very upright, and so it just gives you some contrast. This is a Japanese fern called Godzilla, which it grows really large, like 4 feet in diameter. This is a dwarf variety of our native columbine. It's a shorter, smaller, and yellow-flowered variety called Corbett. Zizia aurea, great for spring. Especially, pollinators will have something available to them very early in the season. And this is probably my favorite native grass. It's called Standing Ovation. And it just has this beautiful color and texture, and it stays upright, and it's my favorite grass. I just really love it. So we have that. We also have some ground cover geraniums. We have Roseanne back there, which usually just blooms and blooms. And then we also have this little petite thing called Carmina, which is really cute too. It will form a little mat, short, not too tall. And last but not least, some Rudbeckia hirta called Sahara, which has great colors for fall. So hopefully with all of this you can find something that you need in your own yard, and maybe we'll see you in September. Thanks, bye.